sometimes we just need a good cry. Okay, and if you're anything like me, we need a book to kickstart those waterworks. And you know what, girl? I have the prescription for you. Okay, let's get started on the books that have made me cry. Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. This is going to give you trauma. Okay, it's giving lots of trauma. Little dark in the beginning. Maybe more than a little dark in the beginning, but it lightens up a little bit. But we have a lot of trauma. These characters go through a lot. And when we cry, it's out of relief, but also, you know, you feel for them. You feel for them and you cry, and it's glorious and it's wonderful, and we loved this. This was very good. A Monster Calls. This is giving grief. Okay, this is giving grief processing. So if you have lost anyone in your life and you are moving through it in a way, processing emotions, that's what this is giving. And it's very short. It's a little illustrated book here from beginning to end. It literally took me 2 hours to read. This was a very good cry, very cleansing, very healing, moving through grief and trauma. Binding and Keeping 13. I add both of these because they are kind of like one long story. And when I say long, I do mean it. These are both about 650 pages each. So you're looking at a 1,300 page story here. I promise it will not feel that long. However, this is a roller coaster of emotions. You don't just get crying in here. You get laughter, you get love, you get heartwarming, you get sad, you get trauma, you get devastation, okay? It's a roller coaster of emotions, but if you need all of it, if you need every single emotion, if you need to fall in love with characters and feel like you know them and process their trauma with them and process their grief with them, this is where you're gonna go. Saving Noah by Lucinda Berry. This one's gonna hit hard if you're a parent, okay? It's gonna hit hard. It's gonna be a hard read. It was very difficult to get through, very eye-opening, very crazy. It's gonna make you think a lot about things you don't really want to think about, but it's gonna bring you through a process of trauma and put you in shoes that you don't really want to be in. But this one really made me cry. This was tough. This was tough, and it's not like a good happy cry. It's not. It's a sad, traumatic. Yeah. A Court of Wings and Ruin. Okay, I understand that this is the third book in the series. I get that, but this one did make me cry. Sob, actually. I sobbed just a lot. I sobbed a lot. And I understand you do have to make it through 2 books and almost 3 to get to the sobbing piece of this, but it's worth it. It's very, very worth it. Highly recommend. The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. If you want a really great depiction of domestic abuse, domestic violence, living life, this is a good one. Very traumatic, very sad, but like tears of hope, okay? Not tears of devastation, tears of hope and relief and like just, you know, it's a different kind of cry. It's not devastating, it's hopeful. This is devastating. But also, you know, it's a book about war. And what do we expect when we read a book about war? We expect sad things to happen. And then that does happen. It does. But you know what? It's good. It's a good book. It's a rough cry. I have never cried harder than I cried in this book. This book had me gasping for air. I was crying so hard. My husband actually was deeply worried about me while crying in this book. But you know what? It was worth it. It was so worth it. It was so good. If you're genuinely looking for heartbreak and devastation, this is where you should go. Push through the first 30%. It can be a little slow at the beginning, but I promise you it's worth it. Push through. Say You Swear. Yeah. This one will have you cry. Grief, frustration, just sadness overall, but not like devastating. Not devastating, but hopeful. God, it's just a good one. It's really good. It's really good. It's like just pulls at your heartstrings. Pulls at your heartstrings and makes you just want to give these characters a big hug. This is absolute devastation. Okay? I actually don't usually recommend this book. I say don't read this book. Genuinely. I don't think people should read this. It's so devastating unnecessarily. But it did make me cry, and that's what you asked for. So If you want pure devastation, this is it. Just keep that in mind, that I will not be responsible for your emotional damage. This is not a happy book. This is a very, very sad, very, very traumatic, and I do not forgive her. So, and The Coldest Winter. Processing grief. A lot of grief processing in this book, and a lot of heartwarming. A lot of heartwarming grief processing, tears were shed in this book, but incredibly powerful, incredibly beautiful, forbidden love as well. Highly recommend. Can't recommend it enough, actually. So hope that helps. I hope you enjoy your cry. We are the same people. I always use books to kickstart those waterworks, so I hope this helps for you. Love you so much.